Okay, let's call the meeting to order and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please.
Councillor Peterson,
Here.
Councillor Geisler,
Here.
Councillor Jelly,
Here.
Councillor LeBlanc,
Here.
Mayor Boucher.
Here. Do any councilors have announcements this evening? We have no public hearings. Communications are on file, no presentations. We are on number 8, public discussion. This is the time for individuals to address the council about items not on the agenda. We ask that you limit your time to 3 minutes per person. If you're here for an item that's on the agenda, there will be a public discussion during that time. So if anybody wishes to address the council at this time, please step forward to the podium and start with your name and address.
My name is Tim Resberg, 3646 Midway Road. I come here to ask questions about the project that's going in the southwest section of Hermantown between the Morris Thomas Road and the St. Louis River Road and the Midway Road.
Okay, is that mic on there?
It is.
It is. He's
Okay.
just very tall.
I got your first name is Tim?
Yes.
Okay.
And the question is asking, we know the people in that area know that the substation is being rebuilt. That's not the question. It's what the database project that's coming in there. And we would like to have the city council give us some information about that. And so far, we haven't heard from anybody, and we asked the zoning commission. And they said they don't know anything about, nothing about the zoning that's coming into there, so it's like business management. And we would like to know if people from that area about the letters that people are getting about having their residents bought out. And this Mortensen Hermantown project, they're the one that's going to be building it. And basically, we'd like to know who's going to be buying out these residents, and are they going to be forced to sell their homes? And I got an article out of the Star that it was during our zoning committee, planning and zoning commission on March 18th with no members of the public speaking. And there was about 4 of us here, maybe 5. I got up and asked about it, but the paper said no. I don't know why that was put in there like that. And then could you tell us what databases is going in that project?
Well, first, let's start with the Hermantown Star. We can't tell them what to print or not to print. You can ask and get copies either of the official minutes of any meeting.
I did, it went to the Star. And this was from the city council.
Okay.
I got the article right here if you just want to look at it. But we were just wondering why they would put that in there when I talked to the Star.
Okay, well,
And we'd also like to know about this Mortensen building in Hermantown.
is that city publication, sir?
All this came from the builders. And Planning and Zoning Commission under 5D, 14 parcels totaling 320 acres. Quadrant, southwest quadrant of the Morris Thomas Road, Midway Road. And also that'd be with the St. Louis County Road, and we got all the quadrants, locations of the people's homes that are there. And we would like to know what's going on. And if you could give us any idea what's going on, it would be awful nice, because you guys are the ones that started this.
To be as diplomatic as possible, I'll let our city administrator address that question.
Well, you're asking a number of questions. One is, no one's being forced to, sell their home. We know that there are private land transactions going on there. We don't know all the details of that, but we do know that somebody is acquiring, property. They're not being, it's not the city's action. It's simply, a private land transaction.
So what you're saying, if then people don't sell, they can still keep their homes and that stuff there.
That's entirely within their right to do.
Yeah, because up on the Solarway, I think that was mostly MPNL, they wiped out the homes up there.
To the extent that Minnesota Power is acquiring property, they do have the ability of eminent domain if they need to do that.
And that's up at the old Davis farm too, that's out of the city limits in the Solarway Road, and MPNL was planning on.
Yeah,
putting in solar power.
Yeah, I can't speak to Minnesota Power's plans.
But,
A utility does have the ability to do eminent domain,
Yeah.
but that's not the city involvement at all.
this isn't from MPNL. It's for this Amazon, not Amazon, but this database company that wants to move in.
That's a private land transaction. That's entirely up to them.
But these are the ones that, okay, this, because that was in the paper, the Star paper, and we found out about that the southwest section of Hermantown was going to be rezoned.
There are a number of properties currently on the agenda that are being rezoned. All of those properties that are being rezoned are either owned by Minnesota Power or their land company, the Renfield Land Company.
No, I'm talking about the ones, these people for their houses on the west side of Midway Road, and they got all the parcel numbers right here from the zoning.
Again, those parcels are all parcels that are owned by the Minnesota Power or the Renfield Land Company.
Well, as far as some of them say that there are people, they own that. It was 328 acres or whatever it was there, I mentioned. And MPNL doesn't have all that.
Well, I'd have
They
to,
they do not own down to the Midway Road, and they do not own all the way up on the St. Louis River Road. Those are private homes in that. And the same thing with the Morris Thomas Road.
I'd have to look at your list, but the land that is being proposed to be rezoned tonight is all owned by the Renfield Land Company or Minnesota Power.
Okay, well, I'm just bringing this up because there was another thing in here with the News Tribune. Minnesota lawmakers are squabbling over the data centers in Minnesota. And I don't know if you guys ever get the News Tribune paper, if you've ever read it. But it's both Republicans and Democrats talking about this database, and it's going in there up at the substation because of the power they need. And then one of the biggest problems is too, that this database is, they generate an awful lot of heat. Then they have to be air cooled. And that's one of the reasons why they're coming into Minnesota and that, because of our cold weather in the wintertime, it'll cut down on their air conditioning. Now, in order to air condition them databases, on an average, it'll require anywhere from 250,000 to 300,000 gallons of water a day. And we want to know when they put that in there, where this water is coming from. If the city council is going to allow this. And we've heard that they're going to put a new tower up by Pike Lake on the Midway Road. And they were going to send that water line down to this database. Now, do you know anything about that?
We do not have any application for what you refer to as a database at this point in time.
So you don't know anything?
The city has talked about the possibility of extending water to the southwest part of the city because we believe as part of the comprehensive plan that it is a prime source for development for industrial uses because of the transportation, the railway, and the electricity.
Well, as of now, the electrical substations have never needed that much water. And the railway doesn't need that.
No, but we believe those two things might lend itself to development in that area.
But everybody seems to know, except for zoning and city council right now, what you're saying is that you don't know nothing about this database.
There's nothing that I can share about this about any of that at this point in time, other than what is publicly known.
It is our homes and our zoning that you're changing, and you don't want to say anything about it.
We're not changing zoning on anybody's homes tonight.
Well, it's going to light business and manufacturing.
Not on anybody's homes tonight. The only properties that are being rezoned tonight are owned by Minnesota Power and the Renfeld Land Company.
So in other words, it's Mortensen deal with the Hermantown project. You just have no idea what that is.
Nothing that we can talk about, no. We don't know.
Why can't you talk about it to tell us residents out there what's going on in our own
If a
city?
private landowner, if a private company wants to buy land, that's not the city's business because they may or may not be doing something. We don't know that for sure.
Well, evidently you just have to know something because you changed the zoning for it.
We are proposing to change the zoning on Minnesota Power and the Renfeld Land Company's land.
Whose land?
Minnesota Power or the Renfeld Land Company.
The Renfeld?
Renfeld.
Who are they?
That's the company that's owned by Minnesota Power. That's their land
Okay.
division.
Yeah, we're not talking about the substation because we know that's already been taken care of.
And
We're talking about the residents that are getting
sir,
a letter.
we're
from-
approaching 11 minutes and a 3-minute limit, and we do have a bunch of other business tonight.
Yeah, but
Will you have the option of sticking around after the council meeting and talking to us? And I'll be sticking around and be willing to share anything I can with you at that time. But the motion that's on the table tonight that we will get to later is involving no one's home. It's the Renfeld Land Company and Minnesota Power only.
I was just looking for a question of either yes or no about the database.
We don't have any information about any database thing at this time. Well, it's nice that you do. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the council? Please start with your name and address.
Hi, my name, is this on?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
it's on.
Okay. My name's Marissa Klingeisen. I live in Peyton Acres, 3932 Teal Lane. Just had 2 questions for you guys. I wasn't quite sure who to ask, so I figured this would be the spot to come. When we bought land, they said that there would be sidewalks throughout the development. And we're in the 3rd cul-de-sac. The first 2 do have sidewalks. Ours has like a partial sidewalk. It's like the first few houses and then it doesn't go all the way through. So just before we finish our landscaping, we were curious if the sidewalk was going to be finished. And then the second question, just this spring, we've noticed that there's a lot of water drainage at the end of the cul-de-sac. A ton of water runoff and it pools to the point where it's like freezing almost like a lake. So I just think about we're about to have our first child soon and just with the school bus and walking out there, I haven't even felt comfortable walking out there because there's so much water where it freezes and it's really slippery. So those are just my 2 questions to look into.
Mr. Mulder, maybe we could ask Mr. Johnson those questions.
Well, I don't know the exact status of that, but like some of that work is in progress.
Okay,
But we'll take a look at the drainage issue with the city engineer.
perfect. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. As Mr. Mulder just mentioned, there's a few projects under these previous phases that are still in various processes that way.
Okay.
And I know that the water at the end of that cul-de-sac, that's been something the city engineer has been looking into.
Okay, perfect. And the sidewalk you're not sure on, or?
Sidewalk, I'd have to look at the plans. Generally,
Okay.
how it works out is we don't do a full, all the way around the cul-de-sac and come back again. We usually bring it around a certain portion of it.
Okay,
So I would just double check the plans and see how it relates to your home, but we can get back to you about that as well.
okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak to the council tonight?
Mike Ralph, 5781 St. Louis River Road. Now, I got here your agenda as March 18th. This is your agenda. 5C, your zoning ordinance text amendments by the city of Hermantown, amending chapter 5, section 535, business and light manufacturing pertaining to communication service facilities. Now, what does that tell you? Letter from Mortensen. Mortensen is looking to buy houses and property in the area of Morris Thomas Road, St. Louis River Road, and Midway Road. And the site selection is for an industrial project in Hermantown in the area of that.
Mhm.
You don't know anything about it.
Not anything that's
I mean,
public.
they're buying up land. This ain't the MPNL thing. This is something completely different, because all those partials that were bought already and the houses are tearing down, that is MPNL's addition for their substation. Now, this is completely different. 2 letters now here saying that it's for a communication communication center. And we don't know nothing about it.
We do have a motion on our agenda later in the meeting to add the definition of communications center or communication facility to the list of uses in the ordinance, but that does not designate any area at this time. If you'd like to stick around for that. Oh,
That's all I got.
thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak to the council? Last opportunity for general public comment. If anyone wishes to speak to the council, please step to the podium and start with your name and address. Hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda is minutes approval or correction of the April 7th, 2025 City Council continuation minutes and accounts payable approved general city warrants from April 1st, 2025 through April 15th, 2025 in the amount of $2,799,909.15. Is there a motion related to the consent agenda? Motion to approve by Counselor Geisler. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Counselor Peterson, who just made it. Roll call, please.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler, Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Next is ordinance 2025-10, an ordinance amending Chapter 2 definitions. This is a second reading. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Motion by Counselor Jelly. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor LeBlanc. Mr. Mulder.
Maybe Eric can explain.
Mr.
both
Johnson?
resolutions.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Before us, like, as you previously mentioned, this is an amendment to Chapter 2 definitions, adding communication facilities to that language. Basically, as the city finalizes its comprehensive plan, there have been discussions at the staff level as well as with our consultant on potential language or use updates to the city's zoning ordinance. As we're aware in the comprehensive plan, we're looking at this portion of the city as a potential light industrial type of use, given the basically the roadway system down there, as well as the electrical possibilities and the railroad as well. For instance, this previous comprehensive plan was done in 2001. And then since then, we've been updating language as we move along and as things become more evident. Once again, as business light manufacturing, light industrial uses continue to evolve through the years, we thought it just was a good proactive that we'd be able to add communication facilities to our definitions and then look into where these could occur at a later date.
Any questions from council? So this change in definitions does not set a specific area for that definition to be applied to.
That is
At
correct.
this time.
That would happen at a different zoning associated with that at a later date.
And that would change zoning, which would go through the Planning and Zoning Commission, which would allow for the possibility of public input on those additions or changes.
Yes, that is correct. You would have a public hearing at Planning and Zoning and then action before the City Council.
Thank you. Any questions or comments again from council? Is there any public input on this ordinance definition change? If so, please step forward to the podium and start with your name and address. Any public input on item 25-10? Is there any input to the council on ordinance 25-10 and ordinance amending chapter 2 definitions? Roll call, please.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler, Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Now we have ordinance 2025-12, an ordinance amending Title II of the Hermantown City Code by amending the official zoning map. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve by Counselor Jelly. Is there a second? Second by Counselor Geisler. Mr. Mulder, should we have Mr. Johnson explain this one?
Yes, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Great. Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. As we had previously spoke about, the City of Hermantown is working and finishing up our update to the comprehensive plan. As part of that work, we're looking at the southwest corner of the city to look at light industrial type of use. So there are 14 parcels in that portion of the city that are either owned by Minnesota Power or the Renfield Land Company. They are the owners of that property, and they're primarily utility-based business that way. So these subject parcels are currently within the S1 suburban zoning district. And so although public utility services are permitted use within that zoning district, i.e. the elite substation, their Minnesota Power substation, use does not really align with your typical zoning. So in order to align the zoning with the comprehensive plan, the city is proposing the rezoning of these 14 parcels to that business and light manufacturing, which more accurately describes the nature of those parcels.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Is there any public input on this ordinance? Is there anyone from the public that wishes to comment on 2025-12? Is there any public input on the ordinance amending Title II of the Hermantown City Code by amending the official zoning map? Roll call, please.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler, Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Next are resolutions. Resolution 2025-64. Resolution approving premises permit application for the Odd Shrine of Hermantown to allow lawful gambling at the Odd Shrine Event Center. Is there a motion? Motion to approve by Counselor Geisler. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Counselor Peterson. Mr. Mulder.
So the Odd Shrine has asked, made an application for gambling, at that location. They have to make an application to the state of Minnesota as well, but the state of Minnesota requires that the, city, make that approval as well. So we're recommending that you would allow, lawful gambling at the Odd Shrine.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any public input on this resolution? Do we have any public input on resolution 2025-64? Is there any public input on the resolution approving a premises permit application for the Odd Shrine of Hermantown to allow lawful gambling at the Odd Shrine Event Center? Roll call, please.
Counselor Geisler.
Aye.
Counselor Jelly.
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc.
Aye.
Counselor Peterson.
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Next is resolution 2025-65. Resolution receiving bids and approving award of contract to Collins Roofing and Sheet Metal for the labor and materials necessary to repair the Hermantown Public Works building roof. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Peterson to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor LeBlanc. Mr. Mulder.
In the winter of 2022, we had a considerable amount of snow, and we had some damage to the roof at the Public Works building. We've been working through the insurance companies, and then we went out and sought bids for the replacement. This would replace the roof and the insulation, and provide a new roof to the Public Works building.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any public input on this resolution? Do we have any public input on resolution 2025-65? Is there any public input on the resolution receiving bids and awarding a contract to Collins Roofing and Sheet Metal? Roll call, please.
Counselor LeBlanc.
Aye.
Counselor Peterson.
Aye.
Counselor Geisler. Counselor Jelly.
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Next is resolution 2025-66. Resolution approving comprehensive plan update as prepared by Hollingston Kegler Group Incorporated. Is there a motion? Motion by Counselor Geisler to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Jelly. Mr. Mulder?
This has been a long process and a lot of work has been done. And Eric really has done a lot of the heavy lifting. So I'm going to let him finish this project and explain it to you.
Great, thank you very
Mr.
much,
Johnson.
Mr. Mulder and Mr. Mayor. So as Mr. Mulder alluded to, this project, it started back in the summer of 2022 with HKGI. It's a little easier to say than their full name, I grant you that. So I'll give you a little bit of a background just to help the people in the audience here as well. So as part of that process, to initially start off, there was a formation of a 10-person advisory committee. This consisted of local business owners, local residents, to obtain their input and ideas as we move through that comprehensive plan process. In addition, the city held multiple public engagement opportunities. We were at Summerfest, chamber meetings, public open house here at City Hall, and had a very successful online comment map associated on their city's website as well. In addition, we also had multiple presentations to the Park Board, Planning and Zoning, as well as a couple presentations here to the City Council as well. So to help everyone out, this is a 7-chapter update to our comprehensive plan. We cover chapters such as plan, purpose, and vision, backgrounds and trends, natural resources and recreation, land use, economic and housing development, transportation utilities, and most importantly, implementation. So to touch on a few of the major updates associated with this comprehensive plan, right now the city really is pretty straightforward, is that we have 3 residential zoning districts, we have commercial, and we have light industrial. So as part of this comprehensive plan, we look to broaden that list of potential land uses associated with it, bringing in ideas such as mixed-use development. In that case, you could have developments that included housing, commercial, office, maybe even some light industrial uses that way, provide some more opportunities, flexibility for some of these undeveloped properties within the city. As we go further into this process, Right now, the comprehensive plan really serves as the backbone for the zoning associated with it. So the next step will be to continue to work with HKGI as we dive down deeper into the zoning code analysis, basically updating any of these existing sections that we have and perhaps drafting new zoning sections as well to reflect some of these changes that way. So it's been a very long process. We had great engagement and really look forward to taking the next step associated with this.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Mr. Johnson, there will be a follow-up to this where specific zoning things may happen and change over the next few years, and those would all be done through planning and zoning?
That is correct, yes. We would start with the planning and zoning process, publicly notice those so we could obtain input from residents, and then once again come to city council.
Thank you. Any other questions from council? Is there any public input on the resolution approving the comprehensive plan update? Is there any public input on resolution 2025-66? Last opportunity for public comment on the resolution approving the comprehensive plan update. Roll call, please.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler, Mayor Boucher,
Aye, and only 4 to go. Resolution 2025-67, resolution approving a special use permit for grading and filling within a natural shoreland overlay area. Do we have a motion relating to this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Counselor Peterson. Is there a second? Second by Counselor Geisler. Mr. Mulder, should we have Mr. Johnson address this?
Yes, please.
Great, thank you again. This is a 1-acre property located at 4264 Ugstad Road. For the most part, this is generally on the east side of the street from the Hermantown, or the Wellness Center, Essential Wellness Center. In the front part of this property, there is a tributary to the Rocky Run. As you drive by it, it really seems to be a built ditch, but it is in fact a tributary to the Rocky Run. So because of that, there is a shoreland area associated with this. All the properties along this area that are looking for either additions, grading and fill activity, new construction, et cetera, go through this special use process. We did this for the Hermantown Arena, we did this for the Wellness Center, and now before us is this property at 4264. So what the applicant is looking for is doing an addition to his primary structure, i.e. his home. And what he's doing is on the rear of the home, there's going to be an addition. That part of the portion, the site is outside of the shoreland, but there is a 450 square foot addition on the south side, which does fall within that shoreland area. So associated with that work, there'll be 750 square feet approximately of shoreland impact. And we're required to go through this process per our basically state statutes with the Minnesota DNR.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any public input on this resolution? Is there any public input on resolution 2025-67? Is there any public input on the resolution approving a special use permit for grading and filling within a natural shoreland overlay area? Roll call, please.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler, Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher,
Aye. Next is resolution 2025-68, resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute and deliver a development agreement with JLG Enterprises of Hermantown LLP for Peyton Acres Phase 3. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Counselor LeBlanc. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Jelly. Mr. Mulder, is this another one for Mr. Johnson?
It is.
Thank you again, appreciate it. This is the Phase 3 development agreement. It outlines the requirements of the infrastructure work associated with this phase of development. This is an 8-lot, 1 outlot subdivision for this. The 8 lots will be our R3 residentially zoned project or properties. The outlot is for a future phase associated with Peyton Acres. So this development agreement covers sidewalks, water and sanitary sewer mains, as well as the roadway associated with that project. The stormwater for this particular phase was already handled as part of the phase 2 work, so that is already in place that way. It's anticipated that this phase 3 is going to run through the 2025 and 2026 construction seasons.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any public input on this resolution? Any public input on resolution 2025-68? Any public input on the development agreement with JLG Enterprises of Hermantown LLP for Peyton Acres Phase 3? Roll call, please.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler, Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Next is resolution 2025-69. Resolution authorizing and directing mayor and city clerk to execute an acceptance of easement agreement to the city of Hermantown from James and Susan Sandberg for the Hermantown Trail project. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Peterson to approve. Is there a second? Second by Counselor Geisler. Mr. Mulder, should we have Ms. Crago answer this one?
Yes, please.
Is it off? Is it
Oh, it's on, it's on.
on? Thank you. This property is located on Johnson Road and has an existing 20-foot easement for trail on it. And this would be just an additional 20 feet to the east of the existing. And the Sandbergs have agreed to let us have that. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this from council? Comments? Is there any public input on this resolution? Any public input on resolution 2025-69? Any public input on the acceptance of an easement agreement for the Hermantown Trail project? Roll call, please.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler, Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Next is resolution 2025-70, resolution authorizing application for, and if successful, acceptance of a Greater Minnesota Housing Infrastructure Grant from Minnesota Housing Finance Agency in the amount of up to $325,000. Is there a motion? Motion by Counselor Geisler to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Counselor Peterson. Mr. Mulder, should we have our Community Development Director handle
Let's
this?
have Chad, our Economic Development Director.
Or Economic Development. There's directors.
Mayor
Mr.
Boucher,
Rocchetti.
Mayor Boucher, councilors, this is an application to Minnesota Housing Finance Agency for a grant of up to $550,000. This, we have decided to only apply for $325,000, given our somewhat lower competitive nature in the grant round. The application and funding, if awarded, would be used for a potential housing project being evaluated on a parcel that the city owns, a city-sponsored infrastructure project for that housing development. There is no obligation of more money for this grant from the city. We're using the cost of the land at $530,000 to be the matching resource for the grant. So no additional funding needing necessary to be applicable. The only thing that the city is committing to beyond this is searching for and identifying additional funding to pay for the remainder of the infrastructure cost for the project, should the project move forward.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any public input on this resolution? Is there any public input on resolution 2025-70? Any public input on the resolution authorizing the application and acceptance of a Greater Minnesota Housing Infrastructure Grant? Roll call, please.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler, Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher,
Aye. Next is Resolution 2025-71, resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute and deliver a purchase agreement with Hayne Wynn and Joel Perrin. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Peterson to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Jelly. Mr. Mulder?
Let's have Mr. Ronchetti explain this one.
Mr. Ranchetti.
This is a purchase agreement for a property on Johnson Road adjacent to that Morris Thomas property that the city owns. We have made an offer which has been accepted by the current landowner, and this approval would allow us to move forward with that acquisition.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any public input on this resolution? Any public input on resolution 2025-71? Any public input on the resolution authorizing a purchase agreement for a parcel of land and home? Roll call, please.
Counselor Geisler, Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher,
Aye, and we have no need for a closed session this evening, so we would entertain a motion to recess.
Move to recess.
Motion by Counselor LeBlanc to recess. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Jelly. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.